All right, we've got this breaking news just coming into our newsroom right now. The Supreme Court has issued a ruling on ghost guns. Let's cross over to our CBS News legal correspondent, Jan Crawford, who has all of the latest. Jan, great to see you. What's the update?
Well, Errol, I mean, obviously, this is one of the biggest decisions of the term that we've been waiting on, and it's about, as you said, ghost guns. Well, what are ghost guns? Those are those unregulated, do-it-yourself guns that people can buy on the internet and put the pieces together, they're unassembled, and turn it into a gun. There are no background checks for these kind of weapons. You can lie about your age. If you're 16 or a criminal, you can get one. There are no serial numbers. And so as a result of this, the Biden administration decided to regulate them under an old gun control law. Some of the firearms manufacturers said that exceeded their authority. And this is now what the Supreme Court decided today, ruling with the Biden administration, and now the Trump administration has entered this case, ruling that the ATF does have that authority to regulate these ghost guns, that if you're going to sell a gun like this, you've got to do a background check, you've got to put a serial number on it. And this is important because police, and we've talked to many of them, have seen an explosion of these kind of guns, more than 1,000% increase over the past 5 years that they've recovered at at crime scenes. So this is a significant case. Gun control advocates very closely watching it, but the court is allowing the ATF to go ahead and regulate these kind of ghost guns, as you said, as firearms. So bottom line, Errol, if it looks like a gun, it fires like a gun, it acts like a gun, they're going to treat it like a gun, and you've got to get those serial numbers on it to sell it and background checks as well.
Jan, that's a significant update, especially as you note that many police departments across the country were advocating for some type of regulation because these weapons in the hands of so many people were putting their lives at risk. With this decision now, when do we start to see these regulations, limitations go into place? What would the timeline be?
So that's the issue here. The lower courts said that the ATF had exceeded their authority, and they, couldn't regulate these ghost guns, couldn't require the serial numbers. The Supreme Court already had stepped in and put those rulings on hold. So this already has been taking place. This decision today really kind of preserves the status quo. I mean, had the decision gone the other way, and by the way, it was 7-2, written by Justice Gorsuch, that we could have regulations. It would have been a much bigger deal. But nonetheless, this is very important gun control measure, Errol.
All right, Jan Crawford live for us in our D.C. bureau with that very important update. Thank you, Jan.